In a video last week, I said that Genesis 2:24 is not a one-size-fits-all definition of marriage, not in the Hebrew Bible, not in the New Testament. A number of comments pointed out that I am missing the fact that Jesus, in both Matthew and Mark, talks about Genesis 2:24 and that I should inform myself of what Jesus has to say here. We want to look at those texts in Matthew and Mark because, yes, Jesus does reference Genesis 2:24 in those discussions of, in that context, he's talking about divorce, but giving an example and a definition of marriage. However, if you look at those texts, what you see there is a confirmation of what I had said, that Genesis 2:24 by itself does not work. Because if we look at what Jesus says in Matthew 19, he answered, "Have you not read that the one who made them at the beginning made them male and female? And he said, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." Let's look at Mark 10 as well. "But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." So yes, Jesus does use Genesis 2:24 in both of these when he's talking about that, for this reason, a man shall leave. However, he's also using Genesis 1 when he says, from the beginning, God made them male and female. So in Jesus' answer, Jesus chooses to pull from Genesis 1 for a part of this and Genesis 2 for the other part, because Genesis 2:24 in Jesus' answer doesn't give the full explanation. It needs something else. So actually, these comments are helpful because they show an intertextual example of how Genesis 2:24 is not, again, a one-size-fits-all definition of marriage in the Bible, not in the Hebrew Bible, and here, not in the New Testament. These are examples of how other traditions have turned to 2:24 and sought to flush it out, fill it out, make it fit what they need, which requires some other things be pulled into it. And in this case, that's material from Genesis 1.